Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Got a really wonderful thunderstorm going on right now. I love the sound of rain. So, uh, hopefully, once I'm ready to go to sleep, it'll lull me off. um, I'm gonna be talking about my pets today. Um, in, During my time with my last husband, Tim, he was more of a dog person when we got together, according to him. He kept saying he was allergic to cats, but, you know, that was never really put to the test until my mom came to visit in 2002, and she was talking about her new cat, Socks, which was a tuxedo cat, and how much mom kept talking about how much she missed Socks. So it made me really start missing having a cat. So I talked Tim into going to the pet store with the kids, and I originally wanted to find a female cat that was also black. I love black cats, always have. But when we walked in the pet store, this little orange and white fluff ball just kind of put his paws through the cage and stole our hearts. So we brought him home and named him Belden, after one of our favorite characters in the David Eddings books, the Belgariads set. He was just an amazing cat. At the time we brought him home, we also had hamsters. And instead of trying to hunt the hamsters if they got out of their cage, he would get them into a corner and hold them there until we could get over there and pick them up to put them back in their cage. So he, instead of being a typical hunter, he was more of a mother, which was absolutely hilarious. And then 2 years after Belden, we went to the pet store and we got another cat. It was a female tabby cat, and we named her Guinevere. And it wasn't after the female character in the Arthurian legends. It's after the black spirit panther in the R.A. Salvatore books of the Icewind Dale trilogy and subsequent books in the Forgotten Realms. And she quickly became my kitten. Where we lived at the time had the place had the perfect tub, and because of my back, I took baths all the time to help with the pain. And she always had to be right there with me. I had a shower seat that I used when I needed it, when I couldn't stand up to take a shower. I would use the shower seat, but when I wasn't using it, it was just sitting there right beside the tub. And whenever I turned the water on to start running a bath, she would run in and get up on that seat and lay down, and she would be with me no matter how long I was in the tub. Sometimes I'd be in there for 2 hours, and she would just be there with me. And she was just a little sweetheart. She was my bath buddy. So that was in 2004 that we got her. In 2006, I believe, there was a stray cat around our neighborhood. Onyx, stop. Just lay down, girl. That was, it appeared to be Siamese, or at least partly Siamese. We didn't know if it was a male or female at the time. But this cat, whenever we opened the door to our building, it would try and come in the building, try and come into our house. The deciding factor was when Tim and I were getting ready to leave, and as we got into our car, she actually climbed in the car with us. So we ended up adopting her. Turns out she was half Seal Point Siamese, was female, and unfortunately at the time she was pregnant. She wasn't very old. So we adopted her, and of course immediately had her spayed and declawed. We had already declawed Belden and Gwynnie. So when we got we named this girl Smokey. And we just went ahead and did the same with her. And Tim always kept a bowl of food out on our porch. And every night he'd go out to have a smoke, and there would be this cat that would come up, get some of the food and eat, and then take off. And one day in early 2008, I think, this cat ends up bringing one of her babies up there and put her up on the porch so she could get some food. And for some reason, this mama cat knew that Tim would take care of this kitten. We already had 3 cats, and I was hesitant about getting another one, but she was just adorable. Being a stray, she, of course, anytime we gave her food, she would just scarf it down. But we brought her into our home, and she was Tim's cat, 100%, 1000%. She would not even take food from me. That's how much she was attached to Tim. We named her Lucy. when we brought her into the house, we didn't know if she was male or female, of course. It was hard to, do anything with her. So we, chose a name. We named her Lucifer. And we figured if she was a male cat, we'd call her Lou. And if it was female, we'd call her Lucy, Luci. So she was our fourth cat. And after that, we were good. Fast forward 2010, we make the decision to move from Virginia Beach out here to my hometown. As we were getting everything packed up and loaded onto the U-Haul and everything, my girl Gwenny ended up having what we found out later that was a seizure. She just stiffened up and was foaming at the mouth. So we, immediately take her to the vet, and, they're like, well, we think she might have had a seizure because of the stress of the move. She seems to be fine, and just, before you put her in the cage to make the trip where you're going, which would be a 6-hour trip, give her a motion sickness pill that would help her out with the stress of the move. In between that time and the time we actually got the move done, she had another couple episodes of the stiffening up and foaming at the mouth seizure. And we were really worried. So we get out here, we get everybody, into the new house, and, give it a few days, and she just keeps having these episodes. So, Onyx, stop, please. We get her to the vet up in town that always took care of my dad's cats. And as soon as the doctor examines Gwenny, she tells us that she's got an enlarged heart. And it's pretty advanced. So she sent us to a specialist in Christiansburg, which is about 40 miles away, so we could have an ultrasound done and see how bad things were. And unfortunately, they were extremely bad. I mean, the vets out here have no clue how the vets at Virginia Beach missed this problem. That's how severe it was. So we started her on medication. We moved out here at the end of August of 2010. And even with medication and everything we were doing for Gwenny, the 1st of October that year, she died. We were en route to the the vet hospital in Christiansburg when she died. Broke my heart because she was my bath buddy, and to this day I really don't take baths anymore because I miss her. She was pretty special. In November of that, a month later, my dad had to have knee replacement surgery. And while he was in the hospital for that, he had asked us to take his girl Socks up to the vet to get her yearly checkup and her shots. So Tim and I did that, and when we got to the clinic, they always have a cage there, and you know, when there's stray cats that need adopting, they'd be in there. And when we walked in, there was 2 little black cats in there, solid black, that had been there for several months because nobody wanted to adopt a black cat. And I mean, I instantly gravitated right towards them, and I was in love. I really was. I fell hard for them. So after we got Socks her stuff and took her home, don't you bite me. I don't want to hear it. Don't bite me. We got Socks home, and I started, you know, we went back up to see my dad, and I'm telling him about these 2 cats, and he's like, you don't need any more cats. You've got 3 already. You don't need any more. And I pretty much talked him into adopting them. So we went to go pick them up, and I walk in and I don't see the kittens in the cage. And I'm like, oh, did somebody adopt them? And the ladies behind the counter, they're like, no, we've got them back there giving them their shots and getting them ready because we knew you'd be adopting them. So we're just getting them ready to go home with you. I mean, go figure. They were so small. They both fit in the cat carrier, in one carrier. That's how small they were. I didn't want cheesy names like, you know, Midnight or Blackie or anything like that. And since I am into collecting crystals, I immediately was like, okay, well, what crystals do I have that are black? And I was like, jet and onyx. So that's what I named my little twin girls. And the stone jet is a much lighter in weight stone than the onyx is. And it just so happened that I named my girls the proper names because Jet is 12 pounds. Onyx is 20. She is a big girl. I mean huge. So I really aptly named them. So that was 2010 we brought them in. So that brought our cats up to 5. Couple years go by, you know, everything's going great. and Tim's outside having a smoke on a rainy night, and he sees something up under the lights in our driveway, and then he hears a noise, and he walks up towards it, and it's this little drowned cat, really tiny. And he could see that this cat was definitely not in good shape. She was absolutely tiny, so he kind of brought her, and he went ahead and brought her in the house against my wishes. I was like, we don't need any more cats. We can't do it. We've got 5 already. But he brought her in, and I really thought this cat was like, 2, maybe 3 months old, and, had been put out to learn to hunt and got caught in the rainstorm or something. So we noticed that she was really, really sick. So we got her to the vet, and she had a very severe upper respiratory infection. And they check her teeth and everything, and they're like, this cat is a year old. She didn't weigh but 2 pounds. That's how bad a shape this kitten was in. So I, of course, there's no way I can let this cat go at this point. She needs help. She needs care. So we brought her home. We had to keep her secluded from all the other cats so they didn't get sick. And I nursed her back to health over 3 months of isolation. And she is my baby girl, Lovey. She's my gray and white cat. So, after that, I was adamant that, no more cats, period. I threatened to castrate Tim. I always said cat-straight him if he even thought about bringing another cat in, because we already had 6 fully indoor cats. So it was getting crowded. But we played with them. We love every one of them. They've always been just absolutely perfect. Fast forward to 2015, and my dad dies. Now, his cat Socks has never really been around any other cat ever before. So after Dad died, I would kind of spend like a few days in his house with her, and then a few days in my house with my cats. And I just kept doing that for quite a while. And then I started lengthening the time that I would spend down here. I'd spend a week at a time. I'd go home for couple days, and then I'd come back down here for another week. I mean, as much as I missed my dad, she missed him too. And I wanted to give her as much love and support as I could. My marriage was demolished by that point anyway, so in February of 2016, I just started moving down here while he was at work. I would every time I'd go up to the house up there, I would load up my front seat of the truck full of stuff and just bring it down here, and just slowly moved in. And it was, I told him it was so Socks would have as little disruption in her life as possible, but I things were bad between us, and I was basically running away from it. So I stayed down here with her alone, and then I'd go up, and visit up there to see all the other cats. Belden, Smokey, Lucy, Jet, Onyx, and Lovey. Lovey really missed me. So about a year and a half after I moved down here, I went ahead and brought her down here, and whew, that was not a good transition for a while. Socks absolutely hated her. Socks was an indoor-outdoor cat, so she had claws, and Lovey doesn't. So it was kind of an unfair advantage, so I had to be really careful about leaving them together. But over time, they got used to each other. They got to the point where they would play together. No more hissing, no more fighting, just, a romp here and there. And they really did get used to each other. And it was good. I had my love bug, I had my Socks, and I was good. The other cats were well taken care of, and I still spent some time with them, but I was enjoying my time down here alone with just those two. I'm gonna end this story and continue it because there's still quite a bit more to tell. But this is already almost half an hour long, so I'm going to stop my tale for now and continue it in the next video. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a great night, and I love you tons. Night, y'all. Bye.